Happy Wednesday, Lancers. Wednesday, March 18th. Hopefully, y'all are doing well today. Um, Hopefully, you're taking care of yourselves and everything's going well. I do miss y'all. Hope you guys are doing well. And again, if you need anything, make sure you reach out to me during these times. We'd be happy to help you all out. So, moving forward, we're continuing with actually, we're moving outside. So I moved the venue. We're outside today. I had to get some fresh air, get outside a little bit. So hopefully you can do the same. Hopefully get out and get some fresh air today. We're continuing with our fifth unit, political participation, and we're moving on to unit 5.3, talking about political parties. I did move the videos to YouTube, so I uploaded those on YouTube. I know some of you are having trouble seeing the videos yesterday, so I'll be doing that moving forward from now on. Hopefully, you all got your EQs submitted. If you didn't, you need to make sure you get those turned in. So, Unit 5.3, we're talking about political parties, and really we're talking about these linkage institutions, right? These institutions that link citizens, individuals, to the government, to our policymakers, right? Through Congress members to the president, the legislative, the executive branches, even the courts, the judicial branches, right? And how those parties play a role, right? And how they connect people to their policymakers. So the first thing we have to understand, the first thing you need to know is you have to be able to describe linkage institutions, right? Linkage institutions are the non-governmental institutions which link the citizens, the people, you and me and all of us, to government, right? And there's really four main linkage institutions. There's political parties, interest groups, elections, and the media. All of those are linkage institutions and how they link people to the government, right? So today we're really focusing on political parties and how political parties will connect the citizens, the individuals, to the government, to our policymakers. So there's really the main aspects, the main roles that political parties play, right? We have to be able to describe linkage institutions, which we just talked about that. And then you need to be able to explain the function and impact of political parties on the electorate and government, right? So the functions and impact of political parties on the electorate and government are represented by five main aspects, five key ways that the government or the parties can impact the electorate and government, right? The first function is mobilizing and educating voters, right? So it brings voters together. We talked about political parties a little bit during our Unit 2, political socialization, but these two main parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, and the big ideas that they have, the ideas, the tents that they are, right? They're big tents, and these people fall into these tents. So they can educate the people on issues, right? On these social issues, these economic issues. They usually take stances on those issues and attract voters based on those beliefs, right? If you're conservative and if you have conservative beliefs on those issues, you're going to mobilize more towards the Republican Party. If you're a liberal and you have liberal ideas or you have liberal beliefs about those ideas and issues, you're going to be more mobilized towards the Democratic Party, right? So it kind of brings voters together under these issues and brings them together and educates our voters on those issues. The second function that political parties play are these party platforms, right? We looked a little bit when we did Unit 2, we looked at the party platforms of the Republicans and the Democrats, right? And it's long. There's 80 pages of these issues that the parties represent. And if you get bored, you can look those up. You can look up the Republican or the Democratic Party platforms and read those over in your spare time. So, but they take all these issues and they kind of put the spin, their own beliefs about those issues into their platform, right? So again, Democrats tend to be more open towards social issues than Republicans. They tend to want to allow a big government to solve the social ills that are created throughout history, in our society, right? And Republicans tend to have a smaller government belief. They want a smaller national government, and they believe that more power should go to the states. So the national government should be there to basically protect our rights and our liberties, and everything else, a lot of the other things, should fall by means of the 10th Amendment to the states. Candidate recruitment, right? We're looking at that right now. Yesterday there were 3 primaries. There was Illinois, Florida, and Arizona. And last I checked, I didn't check the results this morning, but last I checked was Joe Biden had won Florida and Illinois. And Arizona was too close to call before I cashed it in last night, but I believe, I don't know what the results of those were, but we'll have to look those up. And but they recruit these candidates under these parties, right? And they bring a big, complicated process of electing leaders, and they make that more simple. They narrow those selections down to few candidates, right? And they run those candidates off in primary elections and caucuses to come up with a final nominee to run for that party. It could be the president, could be your congressional elections, right? Even our Congress members are party affiliated, and they run in these state primaries to represent their party in the election if they're running for Senate or the House or whatnot, right? So there's a lot of elected officials that run under these parties. Campaign management, including fundraising and media strategy, is the 4th function that political parties play, right? So why do candidates run under a political party, right? Because of the money and the mobilization of voters that it's going to bring. It's going to bring a lot of money, fundraising efforts to those candidates running for office, and it's going to bring a lot of votes, right? If you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're going to get those Republican or Democratic voters to vote for you, right? So managing campaigns, media strategy. There's media strategists that basically help the candidates, more so the national candidates, the presidents, but even the Congress members, in dealing with the media and the approach that candidates going to take when dealing with the media. And then the committee and party leadership systems in legislatures, right? So we're talking about Congress, we're talking about the parties and the roles that they play in this committee system, right? We know that Congress is divided into a number of different committees, standing committees, and those Congress members represent their states on those committees, right? There's committees on agriculture, there's committees on business, there's committees on the Ways and Means Committee, which is an important one, the Appropriations Committee, the Judiciary Committee, some of the key ones. But they serve on those committees, and they represent them, not only themselves but their party on those committees. And we know that the majority party in both the House and the Senate are allowed majority members on those committees, right? So if there's 20 members on that committee, whoever has the majority, like right now in the Senate, the Republicans have the majority, so they're going to have at least 11 members on that committee, maybe 12, right? Which allows their party to represent their needs, their issues, their wants in that committee. And we know that in the House is the majority of House members are Democrats, right? So in the House committees, the majority of those committees are controlled and held by Democrats, right? So same thing, if there's, just for simplistic reasons, if there's 20 members on a committee, at least 11 or 12 of those will be Democrats. So that's the 5 functions. The first one, mobilization and education of voters, right? The second is the party platforms created by those parties. The third is candidate recruitment, recruiting candidates to run for office. The 4th function is campaign management including fundraising and media strategy. And then the fifth is the committee and party leadership systems in legislatures. So hopefully that made some sense. We're talking about political parties today. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message on Reminder, Google Classroom. Hope you all have a great day. Take care.